Hey there guys, this is Hector from Vhector Graphics, and today I'm gonna share with you 3 tips. 3, not 10. 3. Not 10, okay? 3. That are gonna make you a better designer. So let's get to it. So have you ever wondered what makes a good design good? Like, what is that you see that you cannot identify, but you know that that design is professional? So it's pretty simple. There are certain things that designers do or don't do that makes a design good or bad. In this case, we're gonna be talking about 3 that you should definitely not be doing. Never. So let's start with number 1. Never distort an image. Let's say that you have a canvas that is horizontal and you want to use a photo that is vertical. So what I see a lot of designers do is to get that picture and stretch it. It's try to fill the whole canvas with that picture that is obviously never gonna work. So they stretch it and it looks unbelievably bad, right? So never do this. If you have one picture that does not fit the canvas that you are using, do not use that picture. Disregard it and find another one. There's nothing bad about looking for a second picture that is gonna be like vertical and you're gonna be able to use it like normally. Do not stretch the picture. That makes you look extremely unprofessional, and the clients are gonna notice, people are gonna notice, everybody notice, because the brain is fully prepared to identify proportions. And if you have a lady with the nose like this, because you stretch the image, the brain is gonna notice that right away, and the client is gonna say that you don't know what the hell you're doing. So you don't want that. Never deform a picture. So that's my number 1. So this brings me to number 2. Never deform a font. Exactly the same thing with a photo. Never stretch or deform a font. You don't have to, and the why you don't have to is really simple. First, when you do that, it looks unprofessional, again, the same as with the images. And the second reason is that you actually don't need to do that. Here are some examples of fonts that have different dimensions, so you can notice that you have fonts normal, you have fonts that are like tall, and you have other fonts that are they have different shapes. So you don't actually need to stretch or deform that font at all. If you need a tall font, go ahead and use one of these samples, right? If you need a normal one, go ahead and look for another font that is normal, that it is not deformed in any way. So creators create these fonts like this for a reason. They take into consideration proportions and other things that need to be kept when you are designing. So never ever deform a font. That makes you look horrible and your design is no good, like at all. My brain explodes every time I see something like that. Number 3 is one that I've been talking about regularly now on other videos, which you can see somewhere around here, is working non-destructively. Never destroy a layer. Try not to do it ever unless you really have to. Adobe created 2 tools that we can use regularly. I do all the time. These 2 tools help us not to destroy a layer. The first one that I want to talk about is masks. Mask is a tool that you can apply to one layer, and with that mask you can erase parts of that picture, but you can bring back that same part that you erased before. You can bring it back by only switching colors. So it's a cool tool that allows you not to destroy a layer while doing the things that you want to do to it, like erasing, bring it back, a lot of stuff. So that's a really cool tool that you can use to your advantage, and I really suggest you that you should get into it. I have another tutorial here that talks about that. Go ahead and check it out. It's gonna be cool. The second tool Adobe give us, it's the Smart Object. So what this does is that basically you get that layer, and that layer is put into, let's imagine, a box, a safe, right? So you cannot touch anything that is inside that safe, but that safe is transparent, so you can see the content, right? So more or less that's the analogy I would do. Now the cool part is this: you can do whatever you want to that layer, but you can never destroy it because the original is inside and it's locked. Okay, so now it has a downfall. The downfall is that layer is gonna be heavy. And why? Let's say that you're working on a canvas that is 600 by 400 pixels and that has a weight, right, in megabytes. Now if you bring an image that is 3000 by 2000 pixels, that dimension is gonna be kept inside your 400 by 200 or 300 pixels document. So what happens is that even though that picture is really small in your canvas, the content is original. So if you go inside that content, as I'm doing right here now, you're going to see that that image has actually 3000 by 2000 pixels, right? So that's the only thing, that your document is gonna be heavier than if you use a non-smart object small enough. But you can have works around that. For example, you can go inside the smart object, like bring the dimensions a little bit down, and that way you are like saving some space. But they are really cool, and you should get into it like as soon as you can, because that's a way that Adobe has to prevent you to destroy completely a layer, right? So you cannot destroy it. Actually, you will have to rasterize it in order to destroy it. So that's a good way to protect the artwork from ourselves, because we by accident could like destroy something there, not realizing it, and 50 steps ahead, when you have no chance to coming back, then you cannot do anything. You will have to bring the original one and do it all over again, and that's crazy. Imagine 2 hours wasted because you were not careful enough with that layer, and it's spoiled. So use smart objects, use masks, and you are gonna be extremely fine. Everything is gonna be dandy, and you're gonna be a really happy graphic designer. And by the way, your clients are gonna notice, everybody's gonna notice, and if you have to move that project back to the art director or somebody, the client, they are gonna notice that, and they're gonna know that you are a professional, that you are working professionally, and that's amazing. That's cool. Okay, try to do stuff the professional way. So get on these tips that I'm giving you today and try to use them as much as you can, and you're gonna be a better creative, and of course you're gonna be happier because you're doing a better job. So I think it's worth it. Okay guys, I hope this tutorial was helpful, and if it was, please remember to subscribe, like, and the bell. So I hope to see you on the next tutorial. Hector from Vhector Graphics, signing out.